one of my biggest concerns for the Christian community, and I think it's one of the ways the world has influenced us, is we are losing our ability to think critically, to really to follow a line of logic, to separate out, to really think through an issue, and to kind of separate out truth from error. Hey, this part's true, this part's error. That I think we're a culture that's just thinking in sound bites.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
And so I think it's extremely dangerous for the culture, because we're no longer a culture that looks for logic, for evidence, for a sustained argument. It was interesting, a while back I was watching a TV, like a movie, and I can't even remember what movie it was, but it was a movie that was set in, I believe, the 1980s. And in this one scene, President Reagan was on the TV behind them. It wasn't. They weren't focusing on that.
Right.
He was just in the room with the thing, and he was making a plea and an argument for the passing of his budget that he had presented to Congress for this year, and why this was a good thing. And what struck me as weird, as sad in a way, is if you go back to the 1980s and the president came on to talk about the national budget, you could actually put that on in prime time, and that would draw tons of people who are actually thinking through the national budget. How much should it be? How should money be spent? Where is that money going?
Right.
And I thought if we had a president today have something like that on the news in prime time, no one would watch.
Yeah.
Because it takes too much sustained thinking about where's money going, how's money being spent. Like, all we want to do is live by a phrase.
Yes.
Defund the police.
Right. Yeah.
Well, what do you even mean by that?
Yeah.
How much? What do you even mean? No, we're just going to defund the police. We're going to fix the infrastructure. Well, what do you mean by that?
Yeah.
How are we going to pay for this? We even at a basic level, we're not able to, or we're not choosing to really engage and think. And so I think that this makes it very hard in the Christian community too, because Christians are not really able to think, are losing that ability, let's put it that way, to love God with all their mind, like J.P. Moreland says, to really think through issues and say, which part of this do I agree with and is really lines up with biblical truth, and which part of it doesn't. It's either all good or it's all bad.
Right.
And we need to quickly label things and quickly label people.
Yeah.
And it happens in the church. And so it's very difficult to lead through a season like that, where people are even trying to figure out the direction of Rocky Peak, where in my mind it's like never changed. Nothing's ever changed.
Yeah.
But are piecing together 2 or 3 sound bites of information,
Right.
and coming to a conclusion.
Yeah.
So that made it tough. Yeah.
Yeah.